What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I want to go over one of the most popular questions I had pretty recently. I get it almost asked me every single day, and that is the transmission on my truck. Now, a lot of you guys may know my 2020 Duramax right there. Those trucks have the new 10-speed transmissions in them. They're called the Allison 10L1000 compared to the old Allison 1000s, which were the 6-speeds. So this is a brand new trans GM rolled out for the 2020 model year, and I get asked a lot how I like the drivability of it, everything like that. So I just want to go over a bunch of things with that today and just address all those questions that everyone's been asking me. It's crazy how warm it is this time of year in PA right now. It's about 70 degrees out, so I'm just gonna let the truck warm up for a little bit, and then I'm going to go on a little drive and just talk about all the stuff I like about it and dislike about it. We are racking up the miles on this truck. I just hit about 17,000 on it the other day, and from last week, I think I did fix the coolant leak that I was having. I think it was definitely that hose. I put a different clamp on it too because it just wasn't holding as well, so I threw that on there and it fixed the problem. I do not have the low coolant message when I started up today, and I've been keeping an eye on the tank, and hasn't gone down any, so I'm really thankful I solved that problem because that was actually starting to drive me a little bit nuts. Now let's start going over this transmission a little bit. The thing that I like about it, the daily drivability of it's super nice compared to the 6-speed. You get great fuel mileage. Now, I don't know if you guys can pick up on that or not. One thing that I really dislike about it being tuned now with more power added to the truck is that it still defuels on the shifts. That's the one bad part about the 10-speed tuned, is that currently there's not transmission tuning out yet for the transmission. I would assume that there has to be working on it at this point, that someone has to be hacking into this TCM to allow tuning to take place. Because that's the biggest thing with the L5Ps, is you can't tune the factory ECM and TCM. You have to get a new TCM to allow it to take a tune. So now that they have this new 10-speed, they have a different TCM, which has not been cracked into yet. So someone's got to crack into that to be able to allow transmission tuning to take place on this. And this truck definitely needs it, because with the added power, it drives fine, but you can tell it definitely could use the trans tuning, because all the advantages of the trans tuning, you have like the added line pressure, converter lockup, and all that stuff. This really defuels on the shifts, which is killing it when you're just driving like daily. It's so annoying. That's one thing I wish that I can get taken care of. And I am coming up on, like, right now about 1 year of having this truck tuned and just driving and everything of that sorts. And you do get to pick up on some of the advantages and disadvantages of it for sure. One thing that is really weird sometimes is, I don't know if you guys did 6-speed, you can chime in here, but it really does shift really weird from time to time. Like, if you start like beating on it and you just start driving it afterwards, it'll shift real weird and funny for about like 2-3 minutes after that till like it relearns itself, I would say. Every now and then you do get a really bad like downshift on this. Upshifts are always 100% fine. I really never have any issues with those. It's with the downshifts that really kill it, really. New Jersey, typical. So yeah, really on the downshift sometimes, like, it throws a lot of fuel at it, and it does roll a lot of coal on the downshift, so that definitely does have to get taken care of in the tuning at some point. And one thing that I wanted to start exploring here pretty soon is, when I want to make more power with this truck, is you have to get a build transmission. These transmissions really don't like to hold power well. From what I heard, I haven't had any issues personally with mine, or the ones that like I know people that have them done, but apparently when you start trying to make more power with these, if you start going like a bigger turbo or injectors or stuff like that, start making it make more power than what it's designed for, you start running into a lot of issues. Now, like I was just saying, one thing that I want to start exploring here pretty soon is trying to get a built 10-speed for this truck. Like I said, this trans has been out for about a year now, and I've heard people starting to build them, but no one I really heard that was like Drop Dead Reliable, like a really good company I heard of that was actually like can produce one of these transmissions. Until pretty recently, last week, I saw RevMax put one on their website, a built 10L1000, which I thought was pretty interesting. Now, one thing is, they didn't say how much horsepower it can hold. That's the biggest thing. I don't know how much power they really have figured out at the moment, but apparently these transmissions are really different, unlike other transmissions. That's a whole different story for another time. But I want to start making power with this, and I saw they had it up on their site, and it was only $6,500, but it had a $4,500 core or something like that. Now, I definitely like send this one back, because you get like a brand new one, 10-speed from GM, I believe it's like $4 grand, so I might as well just send this one back in. But that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be price-wise for one of these. I heard that they're going to be like 10 grand, at first, when they first came out, people said they're gonna be about 10 grand to get built. So 6,500 is a lot cheaper than I thought it was gonna be. That saves you a good chunk of money, so you can buy like the turbo or the injectors to start making more power with. So I definitely do want to hit them up sometime, probably this week, get them on the phone and just talk to them a little bit about it and see what it's about. I've been talking to Diesels Unlimited in Maryland. He's probably going to be the one to install my trans when the time's come. I've been talking to him for a while. I actually asked him if he could build one, but at the time, he said he couldn't. I have to hit him up again. I haven't really talked to him in a while, but he's definitely going to be the one installing the transmission when it does come. Getting back to this in stock form, this transmission is really, like, in stock form, not tuned. It's 100% better than it is with more power added to it for sure. When it's like 100% stock, it was silky smooth. I never had a weird shift, anything. It's like really good, like 100% of the time. Like GM really does have this figured out, but it's always people like us that try modifying stuff and trying to make more power, push the limits a little bit, that always run into the issues. So like I said, I actually did hear though, some people at first were having issues with these in stock form. They are blowing up, but the ones I did see blowing up in stock form, the people were beating the crap out of them. So that's anything in life. If you beat on your stuff and you don't take care of it, yeah, it is gonna blow up. This, I never really floor my truck or anything like that. I do drive it hard, I'm not gonna lie, from every now and then, but not really beating on it. I never run this really in a big tune. I only have it in a sport tune, because I'm really not looking to push the limitations of this trans at the time, because right now if I blow this up, I really don't have any options, set in stone options really, of getting a new transmission put in. So that's what I can't wait for when I get a built one, then I can really start pushing the limits of this. And I do think the tunes on this are really derated from what they are on the 17 through 19 trucks. I don't think the tuner is throwing as much power at this as they should. I think they do know the limitations of this trans to a certain extent. So that'll definitely be nice when I get that trans. I can start making a lot more power with this for sure. But overall, the 6-speed trans, like I said, does feel a lot stronger than this, tuned and in stock form. But this is a really beefier truck and it has more gear, so it is shifting more. You don't really feel it shift, but it is just going through its paces a lot more. I average with this truck, I get like 18, but I'm always hauling and stuff like that. I'm not really hard on it most of the time. So I do think the fuel economy on this is pretty good for having like an 8,000 pound truck. You're getting like 18 miles to the gallon. That is pretty good. So that's one thing I do like about it. But overall, I do like it for daily drivability. It's not bad, but it could definitely be improved upon. That's like anything. So when the time comes, I do get the trans tune or you get a built trans, I will get back to you guys and let you know at that point in time what it's like. Because like I said, when most people tune these trucks, they do get the trans tune. So when the time comes and you can get the trans tune, that will make the world of difference. And one thing too that is annoying, in stock form, you can only go 99 miles an hour, but when you get the tune, you should be able to go unlimited miles an hour. You go as fast as you want. This truck does top out at 112, which is annoying to a certain extent. Like if you're just trying to play around a little bit, it's like the transmission, like it basically runs out of a tune. I would say like once it hits 112, it just starts like stumbling on itself. It's not even like a governor. It's just like really weird. You just have to experience it. Like the whole truck shudders like this, and so you definitely don't want to keep hitting that top speed like that because you probably will mess something up. So that's one thing too that's annoying, but other than that, just if you're just a normal person just driving it, it is a pretty good transmission. And the final thing that I like about this 10-speed is the turbo brake works a ton better on the 2020 trucks versus the 17 through 19s with the 6-speed, because when the turbo brake kicks in, it downshifts, and there's a lot more gears for the downshift to really start slowing the truck down without really throwing you through the front windshield. So with the 10-speed, it does make the turbo brake work a lot better too, geared with the transmission downshifting. That's one thing that's really nice. Like this on the 2020 trucks, they have a brake pad life in here. If I can find it really quick. So I have 17,000 miles on my truck, and as you can see, my rear pads are at 96%, my fronts are at 94. So I really rarely use the brakes on this because the transmission with the turbo brake really slows the truck down a lot for me. So that's about it for this video, guys. I hope I answered most of your questions that you had for the transmission. I tried to go over a little bit in stock form versus tuned. I know a lot of you guys are here for the tuned application, so I tried to go over more in that sense. Like I said, the transmission overall is a really good transmission, but definitely when trans tuning comes out, it's going to be a totally different animal. I feel like it's going to be a really sturdy, reliable transmission. So if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you learned today, be sure to leave this video a big thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no